will be doing production possibility frontier. So I'll start with one of the central problems of an economy, which is what and how much can be produced. All right. So for that, we need resources. So what I have is resources to be used. Now resources can be labor, capital, time, land, raw materials, lots of resources, right? So all these are nothing but inputs. Then we produce goods and services. That's our output using these resources. And then we produce these goods and services and use these resources through a technology, right? So it is a process by which inputs are transformed into outputs. So we have three things. We have resources, we have goods and services to be produced, that is inputs, outputs, and technology. All right. Okay, so how can we use or how can we define production possibility frontier, or how can we graph production possibility frontier using this, right? So how can a production possibility frontier help in solving this problem of what and how much to be produced? All right. So let's say Kiran has 100 acres of land on which corn and wheat can be produced. All right. So I have one resource, which is land, that's limited. I have two goods, corn and wheat, to be produced. And then I have a technology. Now technology here is defined by the productivity of an acre of land. Okay. So it says that, let's say 1 acre yields 40 units of wheat or 200 units of corn. So that's the maximum that piece of land can produce if I am growing wheat and corn on that land. Correct? So that's my technology, right? So what I have is one limited resource, limited technology, and I have to produce two goods. Got that? Okay. Then, so now the question is what and how much can be produced? And that is basically a question of choices of production, right? So what should be produced? Either we should produce entire wheat, entire corn, a combination of both, and how much, in what quantities, correct? Suppose, let's say, okay, all acres are utilized, all right? So we are assuming for simplicity that all acres can be utilized, and Q is nothing but quantity produced. So if I say that I just specialize in the corn production, that is, I just produce corn and nothing else, then my quantity of corn will be 100 into 200, which is 20,000 units. Now, why I have taken 100? Because that's what I have, right? I have 100 acres of land, so I've taken 100. And since 1 acre can produce 200 units, so I just multiply in order to get how much units can be produced by 100 acres of land. All right. Since I'm only producing corn, so my quantity of wheat is 0. Okay, now if I go to the next extreme case where I am just producing wheat, so my quantity of corn is 0. And in wheat, since 1 acre can produce 40 units, so 100 acres can produce 4,000 units. So that's what it is, right? 100 into 40, 4,000 units. Okay, now let's say I go for some diversification between corn and wheat. So I divide it equally, let's say 50 acres for corn and 50 acres for wheat. So I get 50 into 200 for corn, which is 10,000 units, and 50 into 40 for wheat, which is 2,000 units. Okay, so let's graph this now. So I have this graph. So on the x-axis, I have taken quantity of wheat. On the y-axis, I have taken quantity of corn. Okay, let me go with first specialization of 20,000 units of corn production. So my wheat production is 0 and my corn production is 20,000. So that's my point A, let's say. I hope you know how to graph these simple coordinates. Okay. Then let's say go to the next extreme case where I have 0 quantity of corn. So my corn quantity is 0, but my wheat quantity is 4,000. So I have marked it 4,000 here, right? So that's my B point, let's say. Okay, and in between I'm going for this diversification. So 10,000 units for corn, so 10,000 units for corn, that's 1 point. And at the same point I'll have 2,000 units of wheat, so I have 2,000 units of wheat on the x-axis, and I have taken that as my C point. All right. Okay, so now if I join a line, I get this line A, C, B, correct? Now this A, B, C are all efficient points, that is, all satisfy the condition of productive efficiency. Okay, you know what's a productive efficiency? So productive efficiency, it's a condition that exists when there is no way resources can be allocated to increase the production of one good without decreasing the production of another good. Okay, let me go back to the example and explain this. Okay, so let's say I am at point A. So at point A, my corn production is 20,000 and my wheat production is 0. So I can increase my wheat production from 0 to any other point only when I reduce my corn production, right? Because, why so? Because my resource is limited. I have just one piece of land, which is 100 acres. And on that, I have just 2 resources and I have that limited technology, which gives me that 1 acre yields 40 units of wheat and 200 units of corn. Or 100 acres would yield this many units, 20,000 units of corn and 4,000 units of wheat. I have that limited technology, I have that limited land. So in order to increase my wheat production, I have to reduce my corn production. Correct? Similarly, if I am at point B, again, in order to where I have 0 of corn and 4,000 of wheat, I can only increase my corn production if I reduce my wheat production, because this is the maximum wheat production that's possible, right, on that piece of land. So I can only increase my corn production when I reduce my wheat production. So there is no way resources can be allocated to increase the production of one without decreasing the production of the other. So if I am at point A and B, if I have to increase the production of one good, I have to decrease the production of the other good. So these are your efficient points. Now the same goes for C also. If I have to move away from C, I can only do that if I have to go down this line, let's say. So I'm increasing, let's say, the quantity of wheat out here if I'm going down the line, but then I am decreasing the production of corn. So I can increase the production of wheat only by decreasing the production of corn. Do you get it? So it's like A, B, and C are all your productive efficiency points. Okay. However, we also have some inefficient points of production in an economy, and that are given by this shaded area. This shaded area, and I have point D out here. Now that's an inefficient point. Why? Because I can increase the production of both the goods. So I can reallocate my resources in a way that I can increase the production of one without decreasing the production of the other. So it's an inefficient point, right? Let's say if I move up this line, let's say this point is whatever, 1,000, right? So if I move up this point and I can increase the production of corn and reach here without decreasing the production of wheat, I'll still be at 1,000 here, right? Or if I move, this horizontally, I can actually just be at point here, whatever this is, let's say 33,000 or 66,000. And then I can move here, I can increase the production of wheat without decreasing the production of corn, correct? Or I can actually move this diagonally and go to this point C by increasing the production of both the goods. So this is not a point where I cannot do that, right? So that's why this is an inefficient point. However, if you compare this point to these 3 points, all 3 points, we cannot increase the production of one without decreasing the production of the other. But at point D, I can do that. So that's an inefficient point. So all this shaded area, right, where if you have any point in this shaded area, all those points are inefficient points. Okay. Also, Also, we have certain unattainable points of production also, like we have point E. It is unattainable because our resource and technology are limited. Now this point E, so any other point that goes beyond this line, right, are all your unattainable points. This is point E, you can have it F, G, whatever, right? Beyond this line, beyond A, C, B line. All the points are unattainable. Why? Because our resource is limited, which is land. So we have limited resource and we have limited technology. So technology is limited by this, right? I cannot increase the technology. I cannot increase the productivity of the land out here, right? So my technology is limited. Okay. Okay. Therefore, a formal definition would go like this. The collection of all possible combination of goods and services that can be produced from a given amount of resources and a given stock of technological knowledge is called the production possibility set of the economy. So, your A, B, O is basically your production possibility set of the economy. Okay, this entire triangle is the production possibility set. So you can have efficient as well as inefficient points in your production possibility set. It gives you all the combinations that can be produced with the given technology and resources. Okay, all the points. The points could be efficient, the points could be inefficient. And the production possibility frontier is a set of goods that can be produced when resources are used efficiently. Production possibility frontier groups all efficient points of production. Now, in this entire production possibility set, this ACB is your production possibility frontier. A production possibility frontier basically gives you the combination of goods that are efficient, that are productive efficient. All right. So basically you can say that a production possibility frontier is a part of your production possibility set. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, so that's my first video on production possibility frontier. I'll have another video very soon on this and go into a little more depth of it, where I'll explain the opportunity cost and how is it linked to your production possibility frontier, right? But for now, to just end this session, I have a small question for you, right? Suppose that Swati has 20 hours of labor. She can bicycle and gather berries. It takes 2 hours to bicycle 1 kilometer and 4 hours to gather 100 berries. Which level or levels of production are efficient? So try to solve this. You have these options: 5 kilometer and 100 berries, 2 kilometer and 400 berries, 10 kilometer and no berries. Statements B and C are correct, none of the above. And please reason it out. Also, let me know the resource, goods and technology in the above question. So just write as I have written, what's the resource in this question, what are the goods involved, and what's the technology involved here. And just attempt this and try to find the answer. I'll tell you the answer in my next video. Thanks for today. See you next time. Bye-bye.